Wait. Okay, that's the angle we're getting of town tonight.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the BREWDCAST. I am, as always, Bud Robinson. With us tonight is Leon Robinson, who may or may not be slightly deactivated. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon.
Also with us tonight, of course, is Town. How you doing, Town?
I know, this is going to be great. Oh, fuck, Leon.
Your boy, Town, now holds the top number of title defenses of any man in AEW history.
Yeah.
22. Yep. He only has to defend it one more time, and he will also hold the greatest number of title defenses if you include WWE, as long as it's not like world title defenses.
Yeah.
Because Dean Malenko is apparently at the top with 23. Like, hot damn. Go
I don't
Orange.
know. I don't know. It's time.
What title is that?
Dean Malenko's? I don't know.
Light heavyweight?
It's got to be the cruiserweight because the WCW counts as WWF. That'd be my guess. It's time for Orange, and I'm okay with it. Like, I love this shirt. It's like my favorite wrestling shirt ever. It's so dumb, but it's I think it's time. But I think it's time to get that belt off of him, and then just kind of toss him back into the fray, at some point, and have him kind of come back and chase that thing a little bit. Because, I mean, name a better champion in the past 4 years?
Do I have to be the jokester here to get the glare from Leon?
The big dog.
The head of the table. I can't. No, don't do that.
Gunther's got a good run going.
Yeah.
But Orange Cassidy has made that
very fun to watch.
That belt means more than any other belt in that company right now. Mm-hmm. It's defended every week, and the matches are fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. So, and part of me is like,
it's wacky because it's like less than a year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he made it matter. Not that Pac did a bad job with it, because Pac was great with it. Does Pac come back in that Battle Royal and win that fucking belt?
It's possible.
Because that would not be the worst thing, and then let him and Cassidy have another feud.
I almost thought they were going to give it to Kyle Fletcher tonight, and then have them fight at Forbidden Door.
No, I didn't think that. I thought it was pretty clear Orange was going to win, because if you have him lose tonight, you kind of take away the relevance of that match.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see just what. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe he wins, which would be, but that would be so ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It would be fantastic, but it would be so ridiculous.
I did think of one way that you could make Orange a heel, and that's to have him be so tired that the only way that he can maintain his title is to get himself disqualified over and over and over again. Or counted out, or,
You could. I mean, that's possible.
It's maybe
I just don't think
cheap,
he's... But... Yeah, I just don't think he'd be... I just don't think people boo him. I'd still cheer him.
That's fair.
Part of me,
that's a smart move. Way to keep your title, dude. Good job.
Part of me, but what I really think that I want, and I don't know if I'll get this, is have him lose in some ridiculous way, and then have him be MJF's next pay-per-view opponent.
Ooh.
Because I'm not saying beat MJF. I'm not saying that. But I think an Orange Cassidy.
I'll just go ahead and say it.
I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying if you had Orange, I think MJF Orange Cassidy would be fucking amazing, and I think it could be really, really good.
Have they had a match before in AEW?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't recall one, and I'm pretty good at my Orange Cassidy matches. Um, I just think that would be. I think that would be a hot. Like, he's hot right now. He is on fire. He's probably. Tell me that he's not as hot as the other baby faces that are fighting for the championship. I mean, he's hotter than Jungle Boy. He's hotter than Darby. Like, he's just kind of. But they built him up the right way. It's like I remember this forever in my life when Bret Hart was the Intercontinental Champion in like '91 and '92, and he started having just these bangers of matches, and everybody's just like, that guy's really fucking good. And then they gave him the strap, and it managed to work for some reason. So I look at that and I kind of go, they've built him kind of in a similar way. I know that's such a weird analogy because Orange Cassidy and Bret Hart are so fucking different, but that's what I keep going to.
I mean, we've talked about it before. They have a lot of similarities.
Possible way.
Just a cat.
Jago's the one that's...
Let's fucking focus here, Leon.
No.
God almighty.
Cats.
Dynamite. What did you think of Dynamite, bud?
I thought it was really good.
How about Sabu showing up?
I did not realize this was the one in Las Vegas.
Friggin' weird.
I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. Like, I don't mind Sabu. Like, I like Sabu, but at this point, it's just kind of like, eh. Collision's in Chicago. You know what that means.
Yeah.
And that's
Yay!
the worst kept secret in professional wrestling, part 2.
Yeah!
When they announced that, did you hear the crowd response?
They were psyched. That was a huge pop. Because they know what's going to happen.
I did not watch it.
It was, but at the same time, there was a lot of fucking boos. So I'm wondering what the hell is going to happen with that. I'm so fucking curious. Like, is he going to come back as the hero, or is he going to come back as like a fucking? I hope he's heel. I know I've said that a million times, but like, just let him go. Let him be a fucking heel. Thanks, Leon. I hope he's heel.
There's an individual on Reddit who keeps putting in these gigantic posts about how things are lining up and how he thinks that this whole thing is a work. And like, it's an incredible read. I'll find a place to post it, or just post it to the chat so that y'all can check it out. But like, the if you look at the details of Punk's return and things he's said, like hints he's dropped and nods he's made in matches, like, I don't know. It's just, it's hard for me to watch. Like, it reads very much like a conspiracy theory sort of a thing, but also like he makes a lot of good points. This individual, I don't know if it's a he, makes a lot of good points. I am under the impression that what happened at Brawl Out was not a work. I am under the impression that the shit that has been going on since has been a little bit of a work. I think they're trying to amp it up to get interest. I think the shit that's going on right now, where like, oh, he may not show up, he may show up. I think that's all pretty much bullshit. And they can't, like, CM Punk is everywhere. You can't not hear about him. If any wrestling site you go through, any wrestling news podcast you listen to, it's all they fucking talk about, us included. Yes.
So, but I think Brawl Out was a legitimate disagreement, and I think if Punk was not hurt, I think they would have solved that issue a lot quicker. I don't think they would have stripped anybody. I think they would have been like, we're going to sit down and hash this out. But him being hurt kind of created a different situation. And I think it's a little more worky now that he's coming back. I think the more of a pain in the ass he looks like, and the more just kind of off the cuff and like just out there he seems, I think the better it's going to be for their rating. It's going to be a huge rating. They're going to pop a huge rating. Are they going to keep that rating on that Saturday night? That Saturday night is such a shitty time slot.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
So here, there's this thing that Paul Heyman did for a while. He would go to these like conventions, wrestling conventions, and he would tell this story of how Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker. And it's essentially like he tells the story of the match, and at some point he points out Brock Lesnar could have gone into business for himself and said, I'm winning this match. Whether it's before the match, the middle of the match, whatever, like just before the end, he could have gone into business for himself. And I just like, you listen to that and you're like, yeah, that's fucking crazy. But also, it's Paul Heyman. Like, it's possible. It's Brock Lesnar. It's possible. And so I see like some of those same like parallels. And I think you're right that Brawlout was probably 80% legit, but I think there were elements of work in there. And I think, and I also think back to when Punk was talking about coming into AEW. No, Punk wasn't. The Bucks were talking about getting Punk into AEW, like when they first started. And it was all like back and forth. And I texted him this, and Punk was like, oh, I didn't text him that. But they were like buds. And like, I look back at that and I'm like, were they planning shit then? All of this to say, I don't know if I could be completely crazy on all of this, but I think the one thing to pull away from what I'm saying here is that like, this is, I would not believe any of this is a work if it were anybody else, almost anybody else. But CM Punk can blur that line so thoroughly that you're like, holy shit, what is real and what is a lie?
I think a huge problem with CM Punk though blurring that line is then that line gets so blurry that when something actually happens, you can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened in when he walked out of WWE. Nobody fucking knew. Everybody thought he was coming back, and then he didn't for 7 years, and he was pretty much like, fuck that place. And I think I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's working now, though. I think there's some shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a plan. I'm excited to see it. I'm glad we can stop talking about it. You know,
but we will. We're
not going to stop talking about it.
But,
you fucking liar.
But I mean, we don't have to sit here and speculate. Oh, is he coming back? Is he not? He's coming back. He's coming back. It's done. Moving on.
But when did he plan to come back? Like, was it the night before, or was it 7 years ago?
This new company 7 years ago, he's like, I'm walking out here.
Where the plans laid.
A new company's gonna open up in a couple of years. It's gonna go there. Yeah, that'll work.
I'm just asking questions.
It's true.
Dynamite was it was almost a
they throwaway. Don't want us to know.
Leon's just screaming into the camera.
Leon's kind of a perfect. You make like a perfect conspiracy nut. Next time that you're on this podcast, I want you to have one of those billboards in the back, or the cork boards with all the like red string tying stuff together.
Tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat. Yeah. What'd you think of Dynamite? What'd you think of Dynamite all around, bud? I thought it was kind of a throwaway. It wasn't bad.
No, it was good matches. It was just like, it was very clearly, I wouldn't say it was a throwaway, but they were building a lot. I think that the stuff with the pillars, here the thing with like the pillars match is going to be huge. Like, so whatever they did for this last month or two that they've been hyping it didn't really matter. And that is clear because they didn't really put a ton of time into like building that match to make it bigger because it's already big.
Am I the only one that feels like that match might be a letdown?
It might be.
Because I feel like we know the outcome. Because there's no way. None of those guys are ready to take MJF out. They could be with a little build, but I just don't think they're there.
I mean, we could see a swerve. We could see a return of somebody like that person, but also like, or we might see a debut of somebody. I feel like it's low key enough that they might be using this to set up something different.
I just don't see him taking that strap off of MJF yet.
Right. Yeah.
But that means somebody could come out and screw somebody out of the match, which I think will happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think there'll be interference. It'll be interesting. Do you want to run down the card?
Yeah, let's run down the card
of the pay-per-view.
Or we're gonna do
or the other.
Yeah, we can do the pay-per-view.
Let's do the pay-per-view. The card tonight was whatever. The other exciting thing is that video game's coming out the 29th.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Fucking stoked.
All right, bitches.
You already know what I'm gonna do on that game. There's like everybody knows what I'm gonna do on there.
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy, AEW World Champion.
Yeah.
You gonna make Satnam Singh the world champion forever?
I hope Satnam Singh's not in the game.
I hope he is.
Have you? I do too. Actually, I'm kidding. I do hope that. Have you looked at how they're doing it? This game is not like it's not going to be like Raw vs. SmackDown or WWE 2K. They're throwing back to those old Nintendo 64 games. That's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Which is just to me just like those games were so fucking good.
That was Kenny Omega's big thing, and why they took so long putting this together was that
those games were so good.
They wanted to pay homage to like those kind of games and make it really fucking like they wanted to make a wrestling game that was really fucking good and not just
like Mercy.
Yeah, like not.
Yep.
Not.
That's the one. That's the one that used the fire engine, right?
I think so.
No Mercy was really fucking good. That was on 64. It was and WCW versus NWO World Tour was also
a banger.
Oh my god, those games were so fun. And I didn't even have a 64. I stole Greenville's, but those games are so fucking good. WCW NWO Revenge. And then it was No Mercy. What was the other one? There was another one on 64 that was really good. And then they started doing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was a really fucking good game too. That might be the best one of that era because I think that the 64 ones were better. I remember that I was always Brock Lesnar or Goldberg and I'd just kill people. Though when I was Tajiri, I would climb the top rope and fight. Like if you fought Brock Lesnar, it was impossible. In the career mode, I would run to the top rope and do a top rope drop kick, run back, do it again. I would do that till he was beat. Because he's the only way you could beat that. Because if he got a hold of you, he just fucking murdered you.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, his was like that, and for one of the games, Undertaker was like that.
Yeah.
Those early early SmackDown games were fucking awesome. I remember the first one that ever came out. I rented it 100 times before I bought it.
Raw vs. SmackDown 2, I believe, or no, was it Raw or was it SmackDown 2? It was something with a 2 in it, and it was right around the era when Austin came back and dropped.
SmackDown 2 was just Bring It. That one was good.
That might be it. The one where it was around the era when Austin came back and blew up DX's bus, and you played you could play the whole year. You go through every pay-per-view and every show, and you could play the whole thing. I don't know how many times to play through. It was so fucking awesome. That game was so fucking awesome. So fucking awesome. So I'm hyped for that. I think that'll be really good.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I want to know what the roster is, but I also don't really care because I think what they're gonna do is they're going to I think they're going to release DLC instead of doing like a yearly release.
I kind of hope so because I'm tired of the games that have the yearly like Madden.
Just like a fucking patch for the next year.
Yeah,
and the new rosters and shit.
No. That's not what Madden does anymore. They remove two or three things that were good and add something really stupid that nobody wants, and make sure the game plays worse every year. So the game's progressively getting worse. All right, bud. Let's focus on what we're supposed to be focusing on. Let's go over the card and let's have some predictions.
So I think this is the full card, but I might miss something. So we got Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in the unsanctioned match.
I have a feeling Chris Jericho is going to win this match.
Okay. I can see that.
Not clean. I think they're going to extend it. They should extend this feud. I think something bad needs to happen, and I think Jericho needs a win. And I think it's.
Yeah, when was the last fucking time he won a match?
Well, he wins on TV once in a while, like a big
an important match.
Mm-hmm.
Like an important match. Like not a match that's just nothing.
No.
It hasn't been a while.
He needs a win. I think he wins, and I don't think it'll hurt Adam Cole, especially if there's fuckery.
I think the last one he won was Kingston, and that was last year sometime.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Looking forward to that match, though. I think that'll be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Those two guys can get out there and put their fucking working boots on.
Hey, did you see that Aussie Open signed with AEW?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
They're
going to start to get those New Japan guys, and it's going to be the gap between the two and the way they run, like WWE and AEW, is getting wider. It's not getting close; it's getting wider, which is just fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
AEW is going to be like, if you want to work, go there, and WWE's if you want to be Braun Strowman and run around and do weird shit, go there.
Yeah.
Choo choo.
The fun thing too is that like Aussie Open, there's still like a working relationship in NJPW, right? So like Aussie Open can go back to NJPW for a few shows or whatever. Like Jay White can do that. Juice Robinson can do that. In the same way
they
that
haven't burned
AEW.
that bridge, have they?
No.
Good. What's next, bud?
In fact, the thing tonight with Willow Nightingale, she won the inaugural Strong Championship for women.
She was not supposed to win that match.
Really?
Mercedes broke her foot.
Oh, fuck.
In the match and said, pin me. Like, she changed the finish on the fly. Because she's like, she broke her foot, and it was one of those where she's like, yeah, I'm out for a while. And they had to, like, carry her out of the ring.
Wow.
So Willow wasn't, like, that's huge. That's huge for Willow.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Sucks for Mercedes, because she was... I think she's going to end up in AEW.
Yeah. She just signed a contract with Ibushi Road, though.
I don't think that's going to matter because it sounds like she's doing shorter contracts. Like, I'll come work for you for like 3-4 months, then I'm going to do something else. Maybe. And I think she'll come in and do a stint with AEW. I don't think AEW is going to get her for like super long.
Yeah, but still, for a little bit. And I think that is probably the match. If Sasha broke her foot, Mercedes broke her foot, she's not coming to Forbidden Door, I'm guessing.
I would say no.
But
no.
So the next is Ethan Page and the Guns versus Hardy Party. Is that really what they're called? I love it. How did they not do that before?
This will be...
That feels like a step back for the Guns.
Yeah. I think they win. I think the Guns need to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so not into the Hardys right now. And it's not like Matt. Like, I like Matt, and I think Matt's got a good spot, and like he's trying to do the right thing. But just like having Jeff in the ring is just... I just am not a fan of it. Because the guy is just a fucking mess. I hope he's doing good, but then it's like, don't go out there and do the crazy shit. Just... You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're going to fucking... My excitement for that match is like a 0. I just don't...
I didn't even know what was happening. Like, it's an interesting storyline that they're pulling, like, between the Firm and Matt Hardy. It's just not the most interesting.
The Firm has been a letdown because the Firm should be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it just hasn't been.
They
needed MJF. They really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing... I think it was something like they were supposed to be the foil for him, or like his heaters while he was going against Punk and everything.
Yeah, but
he
obviously plans changed.
Something to that effect.
And maybe they'll come back into the fold when Punk comes back.
Kind of left them dangling in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
My only comment on the Punk MJF feud is I don't want Punk to be anywhere near the World Championship. Yeah. I have no interest in that.
Yeah. He's won it twice at this point, hasn't he?
For like a grand total of, he sold it for like a grand total of like 9 days. Yeah, before he got hurt. Just like Danielson. I love Bryan Danielson. I think he's legitimately one of my favorites of all time. He doesn't need the belt. What he's doing now, the shit he's doing with Wheeler Yuta, and that, like, he's so fucking good in that role. So fucking good. I think Wheeler is going to leave that faction, though. I think it was you. Was it you last week that said Wheeler would go out, then Garcia would go in?
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen.
I could see that.
I think that's going to happen.
I think Garcia is like, I don't know.
They got to get him. They got to get him out quick because they're starting to kind of dropping the ball a little bit with him.
Yeah. But people are still chanting he's a wrestler though, and I love that.
I like that too.
So the next match is the TBS Championship: Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. This is the first time I watched Taya, I think, in AEW, and I think she's fine. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I've liked her work before, but for whatever reason, like her up against Lady Frost tonight, it didn't, like, she seemed to step off or something. I don't know.
But she has the whole time. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is. I hope Taya doesn't win. I know that's weird, and I know that Jade needs to lose, but this is not the right person. I want Chris Statlander to come back and beat her for that fucking belt, because that's who deserves it. And let Chris Statlander go on a fucking run and just beat everybody up.
I think I could see it being like Jade wins via skullduggery, and then Chris comes back, like runs down to the ring, and
Taya has not. I'm not getting it.
She's cool. I like her character.
Her in-ring work is just not, and then fucking Jade's in-ring work is butt cheeks. So it's just like,
yeah.
I like butt cheeks.
Yeah, you like Jade's butt cheeks. We know.
I like my butt cheeks. Anyway,
I like butt cheeks.
Anarchy in the Arena is listed next. BCC versus the Elite, in case anybody was curious.
This is gonna be fucking nuts.
I think this is the one that I think the Women's Championship I'm more excited about, but I'm super excited about Anarchy in the Arena.
Anarchy's gonna be really good.
Yeah. And I hope they play somebody's theme through the whole thing. I want that to happen so badly.
That was fantastic last time.
What's play Judas for 20 minutes?
What's the story here?
He's in that match. My bad.
Do you just have the Elite win and move on, or do we extend this? Do you have something happen? Like, I don't know. I have no idea who's going to win this fucking match. Because there's anybody could, or does Wheeler Yuta lose?
And then they kick him out, and that's the
I could see happening too. Because the way Brian was with Wheeler tonight, I could see Wheeler fucking up somehow and costing him the match. That I could see.
We were talking about, I think it was last week or the week before, we were talking about who's going to be, if our dream stable comes together, CM Punk, I think we said Hobbs and some tag team. I think we had talked about FTR, yeah.
Just some tag team.
And then some tag team. Whatever that is. I don't know who FTR is. I saw a match graphic for Punk versus Garcia recently. I think that would be an interesting move. I think it'd be kind of cool if they teased that Garcia was going to BCC and CM Punk swept him up. But who knows if he's
there's a lot of options. There's a lot of factions. And did you see Arn Anderson tonight where he held up the 4?
Yeah. They're
doing it.
They are.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Fucking bring it back. I mean, that's my one I guess my one sticking point is that they've tried to do it so many times that it's just even unofficial versions that it's just it's been a while. So, and it's actually Arn Anderson. It's not just Ric Flair told his cousin who told John Cena that one time you could pretend that you're in the Four Horsemen. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be good though.
I think if they do it, I think if they get the right guys, I think the difference between now and between when WCW was doing it was WCW didn't push it, and WCW really put some stupid fucking people in there.
Yeah,
like Paul Roma. I'm a job guy in the WWF. Now I'm part of the Four Horsemen. And everybody's like, wait,
who are you?
What? What the fuck? So yeah, it could be really good. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, the history of the Four Horsemen is actually really, like, the membership is really weird, but very interesting.
It was so good, and then it was so good that it became trivialized, and then it went to shit.
I think that was probably the thing, was that WCW, Eric Bischoff was probably like, oh yeah, this Four Horsemen, everybody wants to watch them, so I don't have to do anything with them. Yeah, you do.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what Eric Bischoff thought was, there's the Four Horsemen. They're super popular. I have the NWO. Let's just have the NWO beat the shit out of them to make them look weak and make the NWO look stronger. Because that seemed to be all Eric Bischoff did.
Yeah.
So. Finger poke of doom.
Sounds very similar to somebody else that's getting a push right now. Oh my God, is Vince McMahon actually Eric Bischoff in a suit?
Wait, who are we comparing him to? Are we comparing to Roman?
Yeah.
Come on.
It seems very similar, and I'm wondering if if Vince McMahon died like 10 years ago. Maybe he died in that explosion, and Eric Bischoff is just now wearing a Vince McMahon suit. Just throwing it out there.
That was so fucking stupid.
It's all a work.
That was so fucking stupid. And then Benoit did the thing Benoit did, and they had to like fucking completely backtrack on that.
Well, like 2 weeks later.
Right? Not even one. It was the next week. It was. I don't know. What's next?
Next is the Women's Championship. Hayter versus Storm.
I think Hayter has to win.
They have not put a whole lot of hype behind. Well, I guess they have. Just not this match in particular. I was expecting a 3-on-3. But you're right. Yeah, they don't have to. And I think Toni Storm has gotten bigger. Yes or no? I think she has. Yeah. Like, more built. Like, she's... Yeah. Like, if you look at the match between her, like, Hayter and Storm, a year ago? Storm looked tiny. And now they almost look like they look evenly matched now.
I also think that Toni Storm, when she first came in, I thought she was really good. Mm-hmm. Like, she could talk, she could work, but her character kind of sucked.
Yeah. And
they turned her heel, and she's fucking amazing as a heel.
Yes, she is.
That's really helped her a lot. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think this will be a banger. This has the potential possibly to be match of the night. So.
Agreed. I agree. The next match is the International Championship. That's true.
The international title match will be interesting. I think Orange loses.
Do we know who else is in it? Or are they keeping that secret?
Your boy's in it.
My boy? Oh, Ricky Starks. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. I think Pac's going to be in it, and I think
he's going to be he's got to be a surprise entrant, right?
They're doing something with Miro, but I don't quite know what they're doing with Miro. But I don't know if Miro goes in here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably time to take the belt off of him and give him like a small break.
Give him some sleep. Let him sleep for like a month. Just give him a month off.
He's so tired.
And drink
He's so tired.
He is so tired.
But he just fucking has proved. Buddy. He has proved that he is just like he can be that dude. Mm-hmm. He can be that dude, and it's been so. This title reign has been amazing. When he first won it, I was like, "Sweet, I hope he holds it for a little bit." Then it's like that fucking thing just picked up steam. Yeah, I remember the first time. You want a title shot? I want a shot. Okay, you got it. He just walks away. He just fucking did it for everybody. It was just like, what the?
Except for Kip.
You know what he reminds me of is when we made Town Drunk the general manager.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And Town just didn't want to do it. So he's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, I don't care. Whatever. We can fucking do. I don't want to fucking do anything. Because it was so. I remember having that conversation with you, Bud, and being like, the only thing we see are like evil, evil general managers or babyface general managers that constantly fuck people over.
Yeah.
They were fucking over heels or babyface. I'm like, we need an authority figure, but let's just have him be like neither. Let's just have him be there and be like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I want to do fucking work. That's what Town was. That's what Town was.
I think that's the most important part, is that he doesn't want to do it. It's not just that he's neutral, it's that he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, that was what Town was. He just didn't want to fucking do his job. Oh, there's fucking, we gotta have a champion. Can we just draw names on a fucking hat? I don't want to do anything. I'm make a fucking tournament. Fuck this. You know?
That's
so
true.
that just, yeah, it was great, but it was so
it's very OC. I agree.
But it was very, like, Town was a very unique character.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bud and Leon were as well, but like that was unique, and we put him in that spot, and it was like we got something pretty fucking awesome because it wasn't like any other. Like, he was a good guy, but he was also this kind of like, oh, I don't want to fucking deal with this. So I mean, that's kind of the vibe I get from Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
But I think he loses. I think it's time. But now that I heard the Dean Malenko thing, maybe it's not. Maybe he defends it.
I think.
But
yeah.
I think the cop out here is he doesn't have to get pinned.
Mm-hmm.
And something really screwy you could have somebody come out and throw him over the top rope, or like help somebody win and cheat, and then he could come back and quick feud with that guy, and then go to MJF. That's what I think I want.
Yeah.
Am I going to get that? I don't know. But like that, to me, you just built this guy. He's white hot. Orange Cassidy, MJF main event of a pay-per-view? Ooh. Wembley.
Although he's going to have to defend his title at Wembley, so.
Look at the lights.
That'll be good. What's next, bud?
Wardlow versus Christian.
Wardlow.
I'm sort of underwhelmed by that match.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't either. That's the problem.
I don't know. I think they have a plan. I think Tony Khan always has a plan. Just sometimes you cannot tell what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems very convoluted. I would love to get that strap off of Wardlow, but Tony Khan doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, and also if you're reforming the Horsemen, you need champions. And
it still amazes me how far that fucking TNT belt fell, because that was like the belt for a while, and now it's just like number 3.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he'll lose it to Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy can do the same thing with the TNT belt. Just give that fucking guy every belt, let him do the same thing. Go out there, have 5-star matches, get tired, and be like, Casino Battle Royal. Have him do that like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then be like, wait a minute, I don't want to do a Casino Battle Royal. I never win. That would be a hell of a gimmick. You lost all your titles in the Casino Battle Royal. How do you feel? Bad. Just that's it.
Tired.
I'm gonna go home, sleep a little bit.
Thirsty. Soup comes up with 2 orange juices.
Yes. This match, I don't know.
Maybe it'll be a shocker. You know, like
I feel like this card is somehow, there's so much shit going on in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this card kind of ate it, and it's not maybe as good as it could be. It's not awful, but it's not like, you know, the elite Blackpool match is going to be fucking amazing, and the main event is like historically for the company very important. But like the rest of it is kind of, I get what we're doing with Wardlow, but they have to have a plan. But you know, if Christian cheats to win the belt, then you know in 3 weeks Wardlow's just going to win it back.
Yeah,
and that's getting old.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, especially for like, you have this big, and we've talked about this before. You have this big dude. Wardlow is huge. You're trying to push him. Stop taking the title off of him. So
but you also have to have him defend it.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a very small man in Orange Cassidy who's like, you've done everything right with him, and I don't even think that. To be honest, I don't think it was done on purpose. I think they just put that belt on him, and they just kind of were like, they forgot about it.
It's definitely possible. Yeah,
because it's just like, yeah, he's kicking ass. We're just letting him keep doing his thing.
Yeah,
because they wanted Jarrett to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God he didn't. And I think they were talking about Garcia. Like, there was a couple guys that I thought were gonna, and I heard rumblings they're probably gonna take this belt. And now here we sit. So maybe he just keeps doing this for another year. Just got it.
Why not?
You know,
I do really see him at some point just saying, like, just handing it to somebody and being like, I don't want to do this anymore. Here you go. Like, when we were talking about the Battle Royal, I'm like, what if he just, like, eliminates himself? Like, he just climbs over the top rope and goes and, like, sleeps in the back.
Bye.
Goes and does commentary and then falls asleep.
I love the time he did commentary for the Chris Jericho match, where he fell asleep and his headset wasn't even plugged in. Put it on. And so Shivani's like, hey, buddy, your headset's not plugged in. Then he just went to sleep. It's just like, oh, that's so fucking perfect. That is so fucking perfect. What's next, bud?
FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
FTR is going to win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they should.
I think Lethal might turn on Jarrett.
I hope he does.
And
then Mark Briscoe turns on both of them and
they keep trying to use him to get to Briscoe.
Yeah.
See it.
I don't know. Again, that is just not vibing for me. But I've said that about those guys for just ages. They're just not.
Yeah.
It's not that it's like. It's not heel heat. It's just like they come on the screen and you're just like, oh. I have to watch this shit.
At the very least, they are putting time and effort and energy into this feud. This feud in particular, because they have not done that with any Jay Lethal group, whatever their team is called, program before this.
The kicker here, though, bud, is that there's times where I can stomach Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they went to the Briscoe farm or whatever, and they had that segment, like, he was great.
Yeah.
And he's really good in shit like that, but then it's like he follows that up by bringing out Karen, and it's just like, what the fuck?
So I did not watch that bit last week because I had no interest in it. So when they did the recap of it this week, and they showed Karen doing the low blow, and she fucking botched it. Like, she fell over too soon and like had to like stretch to like how do you botch that? Just like you're hitting a guy in the dick. Just like, do you not know where it is? Just, oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I wasn't too. Nothing about that was good. I mean, it's just one of those things where, you take a shitty situation and you make it worse.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, Jeff Jarrett, it's like, why did he beat Effie? I'm still fucking mad about that.
Yeah, me too.
I want Effie in AEW. I love Effie. Effie's the fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll happen though.
I don't know. I could see it. Maybe. I mean, yeah. I don't know. They have some pretty wonky characters. The next is the Pillars match. MJF versus Sammy Guevara versus Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin. Sting Jr. Otherwise known as Sting Jr.
Let's actually break this down. You cannot give this match to Jungle Boy because it is not time and you cannot fuck him up. Okay. Sammy Guevara. I don't see it. I fucking love Sammy. I think Sammy's great, but Sammy needs to be. He's been like second fiddle to Jericho for a bunch. So I'm not seeing it. Darby Allin could win this match.
Yeah.
Now, what if Darby Allin wins this match, MJF gets his rematch on Dynamite and beats him right back? We have not ever seen that happen in AEW.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I could see it.
I'm not saying I think that's what's going to happen. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
In this moment, I'm like hearkening back to, I feel like WCW did that a time or two, and it never turned out as well as they'd hoped.
It can if you don't overdo it.
Yeah.
You know,
and you'd have
because realistically, Mick Foley's title run at WWF, that's they all were.
Yeah.
You know, and those worked. God, when he won that fucking belt from The Rock the first time, holy fuck, was that crazy? That crowd went fucking bananas, ape shit. That was like
Banana!
that was one of those ones you watch back and you're just like, holy fuck, did that just happen? Great moment. Great moment.
Could also see, it would be kind of cool to see one of them take it and then MJF just like goes fucking crazy. Like he just goes off the deep end for like a month because they have like another month until what Forbidden Door is next. And then takes, I don't know why he would take it back at Forbidden Door, but he could. Like I could see him having a lapse. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if having him lose it and then
he can't get pinned
on Monday.
He can't get pinned.
Yeah.
That I know, but anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible. Speak of Mondays, we're done with the pay-per-view now, right?
Yes, that's the last. Match.
So Nick Khan, not Tony, but Nick Khan, WWE guy, said that they're not opposed to moving Raw off of Mondays.
I did not hear that.
And I'm just like, what? It's fucking Monday night. It's been on Mondays for
ever.
It's 1993. I watched the first Raw.
Goddamn years.
Go Damian Demento.
Is it not? Has it not always been Mondays? Unless it's been co-opted for some reason.
Yeah, it's always been Mondays.
So like
never. They had Raw Thursday once. I remember that, and I think it was on a Tuesday once for something else, tennis.
Yeah.
Back when USA used to cover tennis, but I just can't see it. I think SmackDown's gonna. It sounds like, from what I'm hearing, they're trying to get in bed with either Amazon Prime or Netflix for SmackDown.
I mean, I would assume they would have to be Hulu because Fox owns the rights.
Fox doesn't own the rights. Fox is going to lose the rights. They're not going to stream it on there. It's going to be on there live. It's going to be live on Amazon Prime or live on Netflix. That's how they're going to do it. Because that's starting to pick up momentum where you have a streaming service that has live shows. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they're trying to. I think that's what they're trying to push. Because they want a shitload of money, and I think Fox is like, your ratings are fine, but they're not like that good. Because I think they want like 1.75 times what their contract is right now. So I do think AEW is going to get $1 billion TV contract too. I just think that's the way it's moving.
I mean, again, with the writer's strike, there's just like, they need content. Those channels need content.
HBO Max has rebranded to Max officially. And that I think AEW is going to end up on there. I think they're going to, because it's exclusive. I'm hoping to God they put the pay-per-views on there. It's so fucking great, because then I wouldn't have. Not that I don't care paying for them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy them. I don't give a shit. And it's like $50 a couple times a year. I don't give a shit. But just to have them on there would be so much easier, because I fucking hate Bleacher Report. Is annoying. It never streams right. Something always goes wrong. It's just like, fuck, come on. So Max would be way better for that. But
absolutely.
Trying to think of what other news I heard about the E this week.
I heard that they were talking about a third hour
of SmackDown.
For SmackDown, that they are considering I don't know what they're considering, something to do with the final hour of Raw. And then
they want the final hour of Raw to be more geared towards adults.
Yeah, somebody had chimed in on that. And then they pointed out that apparently Sami Zayn did an electric chair bit at one point, and that didn't go over so well. It doesn't really.
What?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They're never gonna be like they were in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was just a perfect storm. And that was something they did not want to do. I think that always gets forgotten. It was like they wanted to do. They didn't want Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
They wanted.
right.
They wanted Rocky Maivia, smiling baby face with a chia pet on his head.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted King Mabel as the big bad heel. They wanted that. That's what they wanted. They didn't want Austin. They didn't want attitude. And then Austin, when he was that heel character, and he cut that Austin 316 promo, and everybody in that arena the following Monday night had those signs. It was just like, hey, wait a minute, we might have something here. And then it's just slowly, and they pushed him begrudgingly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing we forget because we act like they were so, we got right on board with all bullshit, man. He fought Yokozuna at SummerSlam that year and barely beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do shit with him till Bret Hart came back and said he wanted to work with him. And then Bret Hart kind of brought him up.
Mm-hmm.
But he just, that wasn't exactly what they wanted to do. And then when they got there, then Vince went totally off the fucking rails. But he did it in a way that he does everything, which is like over the top, ridiculous. That's what all the characters were in the 80s and 90s. And then when he started including the sex and violence, it was like Mae Young gave birth to a hand, and then we had Katie Vick and all this shit, and it's just like, fuck. And that shit wouldn't have...
Several years removed from that. Come on now.
And I cannot remember the number of times that I read a news article or a forum post or a rumor saying that Vince McMahon wanted to do an incest program with his daughter.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck world are you living in? Like,
but I mean,
oh Jesus Christ!
Like when she was pregnant,
the Attitude
they wanted
Era,
to run like Vince is the daddy thing.
The Attitude Era was
horrific.
The Attitude Era was basically 97 to 2001.
Yeah,
it was a 4-year period,
mm-hmm.
and it was a 4-year period where the world aligned and Jerry Springer was hot and everything was popular. And then Janet Jackson's nipple came out in the Super Bowl, and the FCC regulations changed, and all that smut TV got taken away, and that hurt the WWE. You know, and that's the TVs now. They're still like that. There's certain things you can't do, especially when you have a PG rating. You know, and they did that for all the right. Well, they did that for all the wrong reasons. But I don't know. They're not gonna go back to the Attitude Era. It doesn't mean they can't be good.
Yeah,
I think that's an important. Like, they don't need to be. We don't need beaver cleavage to have a good show.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
One might argue that it would be antithetical to a good show, but you know, whatever.
Beaver cleavage. Yeah, I look at WWE and that's what I think. We're not gonna go back to Attitude Era.
No.
They also don't have, like, no offense to these guys now, because like Seth Rollins is really good, and Roman's not bad. I know Leon doesn't like to hear that. They have guys that are good, but you don't have Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't have The Rock, and you don't have a prime Undertaker, and you don't have fucking Mick Foley right when he was getting good, and you don't have like an up-and-coming Triple H. Those 5 guys were on, like, they were in that era, and those are like 5 of the best guys ever fucking do it. There was a reason they kicked WCW's ass, because they had those fucking guys. There was no way.
Mm-hmm.
Like 99, 2000 heel Triple H is just fucking amazing. So fucking amazing.
I just love that all their biggest stars at that point had been fucking passed over in WCW.
And Foley, my God, Foley there in like 98 into 99, when everything he touched from like after the Hell in the Cell, like SummerSlam on, everything he touched was just turned to fucking gold.
It's true.
He was so hot. And then it's Steve Austin it's just like, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Like, everybody liked Steve Austin. Literally everybody liked Steve Austin. There wasn't a single person I talked to that was like, man, I don't like Austin. Like, everybody fucking loved Austin. because he was amazing. And then The Rock, when he was heel there in like '97 when he joined the Nation and won the IC belt.
Oh God,
So fucking those guys are so
Die,
incredible.
Rocky, die.
So incredible.
The
Those
Rocky.
promos that fucker cut. The issue that WWE had was they got to WrestleMania X7. They stupidly turned Austin heel. Rock left to make a fucking movie. They had no baby faces. Triple H went heel and like got hurt. So you had like Kurt Angle stepped up, and Kurt Angle was another guy that was around for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They had so many guys that were so fucking good. But
none of those guys really fit the mold of like Vince McMahon's promoting strategy, which is typically happy guy Rocky and Big Mabel, as you just pointed out. Like Hogan and a big guy for Hogan to take down a peg or two. Body slam, whatever. Like
a monster to vanquish.
That's why he likes Roman Reigns so much, is because Roman's making him money, and he's kind of like Hogan. Like,
can't argue that. That's true.
But you look at that, you look at that roster right now, and you have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins. To some extent, Roman Reigns. Like, if they used Roman Reigns in a different way, you could get a better version of him. Like, you could get a better version of that show.
They've cannibalized their whole product for one guy.
Yeah.
And it was almost like for Vince to make a point to the fans. You know, well, you want to heel, now he's heel.
Like,
yeah, it does.
You sit there and you think, like, there's no possible way he could do that. But then you hear stories of him, like, being spiteful towards wrestlers because he didn't like them. And he's like, okay, now you're wearing spandex and polka dots because you worked for WCW for a little bit.
Kind of like a petulant child. That's kind of what Vince is.
It's not even. That's.
I'm sad in a way though, because like there was so much fucking momentum and hope for WWE going into WrestleMania, and then it just, that first night was so amazing. That second night was just like getting kicked right in the balls.
I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know why I'm doing this, because like
it just was so it was so deflating across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of like watched it, and you're just like, oh. And then the following Raw was just worse, and it just really hasn't picked up. You know,
so bad.
They dropped the ball on Mania again. We've got more story to tell for Cody. The story continues. Please watch.
Please.
We promise we won't fuck this up in the end.
Please watch. Please watch our show. We need ratings, but we don't care about ratings, but we need ratings.
I read a news story on Facebook today where some guy, there's some wrestling post that randomly pops up where these guys talk. They're like WWE homers. Jamie Hayter's great, and she'll be great when she finally gets to the big leagues in WWE. And everybody in the comments is like, why the fuck would she go to WWE? Like, she was in NXT UK and they didn't use her. They didn't do anything with her. Why would she go back?
It's true.
When she's actually getting used as a wrestler.
I don't even know.
Yeah, she got smashed on TV by Piper Niven one time, and that was about it. Piper Niven should go to AEW.
Yeah.
Like, she's...
Yeah.
That's my hope. That's one of my big hopes that I have, is that some of these underutilized women in WWE suddenly are like out.
Mm-hmm.
Piper Niven being one of them.
Bailey.
I don't know.
Would be awesome.
Bailey,
there's a finite amount of airtime. Like, if they go over there, do they just kind of get lost in the shuffle? Or
I would say yes. I would say yes, but then my response to you is, we just got a second show, so maybe not. I think one of the things they need to do is focus more on the women.
Yeah. To Leon's point, that has been an issue.
Yeah, but they have more time. They have more time. They have more time. They have more TV time, Phil. So my hope is that they can. I'm not saying sign like 20 women.
Time will tell.
Well, yeah, these people aren't necessarily leaving, so. But Piper Niven's one that I think could go over and really fucking do something.
Mm-hmm. And the cool thing that we've seen with Athena now, and we've seen it with Willow, is that they can go to other companies and get over there, like, which is great to a certain extent. Like that's also limiting to like being in front of an AEW audience. I think that's really an upside to like you look at WWE, they are WWE and there's nobody else. That is Vince's vision. Is like it's WWE, AAA doesn't exist, AEW doesn't exist, NJPW doesn't exist.
AEW exists because it's caused them problems.
Yeah, but they don't talk about it. So like, in order for somebody who's underutilized, who they want to bring up to get a title, they have to create a new title. Like they have to keep doing this shit. Whereas like Willow Nightingale, you can be like, hey, you are awesome. And as you just pointed out that this was not the plan, but like, you're awesome. Go win the NJPW title. Or like, they have those options, and not just the women's division, but like the whole roster has that option. Yeah. Which I like. Anyway.
Boo Vince. Boo Vince.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eric Bischoff said something, I think on his podcast, that Vince gets a lot of credit for things that he didn't really do. And I think that's true, because I think we look at Vince as like this monolith. I think to some extent WWE fans look at Vince as like the auteur of WWE, because that's how he's made himself to be. But like,
so there's two caveats to that, bud. One caveat is Eric Bischoff got put out of business by Vince.
I mean, that's fair, but
the other thing is Vince took a lot of guys from the territories, and kind of brought them in and had them do the same thing and made them stars, even though they were just stars that he just kind of like, yeah, go be the Junkyard Dog here, yeah, go be Hulk Hogan here, and that's true, but Vince centralized it, so kudos to him for doing that. Eric Bischoff, on the other hand, just kind of said, oh, you worked for him, come work for me, now I'll push you, I'll give you what you want. So and then the ECW in the 90s, Vince basically stole there.
Pretty much. I am not saying that Eric Bischoff is a smart individual. I rarely agree with what he has to say. But I think he is. I think he is. I think he is. I
feel
like you're just disagreeing with me now.
No, the problem that Eric Bischoff had one really good idea, and he understood how to create he created a really good foundation, and he had a really good angle in the NWO. But then his flaws just came shining out. Like he didn't know where to go with it. And if you listen to him talk, as I listen to him talk, some of his shit is really on point. He does not like AEW. He doesn't like the way they produce TV. But I don't think he gets it. I think that's a huge problem with like him and Cornette and these old guys, is they don't understand that company or what they're trying to do. Because doesn't have to be about storylines.
Yeah.
Because if you put on a match that's really good, well, we're going to watch it. I mean, that's all we're going to do. We're just going to watch the fucking match. And I think Eric struggles with that. I'm not trying to disagree.
I think Eric gets that more, because I do see him I see him saying positive things about AEW and how they do business more often than I see Cornette do.
Yeah.
Like Cornette
never does.
Bashes them incessantly. Like he runs WWE. Which he doesn't. He might think he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he bashes the shit out of WWE too.
It's just his character now. I think that's what it is.
I used to really enjoy Bruce Pitcher's podcast. Now I just kind of go, I don't have to watch him.
I just got started on 10 Bell Pad and been enjoying that.
RVD's getting a podcast.
Yeah, that'll probably be okay. He'll be high. He'll just be fucking blasted.
I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that.
Could you imagine if... Like, this is one thing I constantly think about. I think about WCW in 2000 into 2001 when they got rid of fucking Vince Russo. If they could have got someone at the helm that could have floated the fucking bills and somehow kept that on TV, they would have come back. I legitimately think there's
shit's cyclical.
Like
they would have found something that worked again.
Like Goldberg still was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you look at the landscape of the business. Okay, well, Rob Van Dam's a free agent. If I sign him and I just bring him down here and let him do his thing, that would be fucking huge. Get rid of Hogan, get rid of Savage, get rid of the old guys, let them go do their thing, and bring these young guys in. Like, I look at that and I think, man, WCW with like a fucking, and I don't know why I want this because it sounds really fucking weird, but I'm gonna say it. Like Bill Goldberg, babyface crushing people, just destroys somebody on Nitro. Rob Van Dam runs out of the crowd with a chair, beats the fuck out of him, gives him the Van Terminator poses with the belt, and like comes in as a heel. Just fucking take my money. Because like RVD Goldberg, it sounds so just fucking weird, but it's not. If you actually think about it, it would have been fucking great. Now Goldberg might have had to have lost, but it could have been big because that could have been a huge debut for him. I think that's one guy I look at and I say the boat was absolutely missed on Rob Van Dam.
Mm-hmm.
Even if ECW could have survived and they could have actually given him the belt, that would have been a moment that would have been huge. But he just waited so long and then he got hurt and it was just the timing was not good.
Yeah, I think Rob Van Dam he's just one of those guys that nobody really got him in the same way that Paul Heyman got him. Like Paul Heyman was just like, go do your shit.
I would agree.
But WWE has a system, and he definitely was a victim of that system.
When he was like white hot in 02 or 03, whatever the fuck it was, Triple H just beat him clean in the middle of the ring with a pedigree. Yeah, I remember that. They booked Triple H very similar to the way they book Roman.
Yeah.
If you think about Triple H's Raw run, like 03 to 05 or whatever the hell it was, very similar.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. And I don't know, I feel like they missed the boat on Rob. And he could have been. Man, I just think about that too. If ECW could have kept afloat, if they would have had some money, they got a way to get paid, and they could have given that belt to Rob Van Dam. If they could have got on TV, that would have been fucking bonkers. That would have been amazing.
I mean, you can see a lot of the influence that ECW has had on AEW.
Oh yeah,
in just the fact that and ROH, like ROH was born from that same mindset, not the hardcore hit a guy with barbed wire kind of shit, but like the really awesome wrestling matches, like high work rate matches. That's all over AEW. That's all over ROH.
I think one problem that ECW has is they were, and I think GCW has the same problem, is they're just looked at as a deathmatch company, so you don't expect good matches out of them.
Yeah. And
the matches that are actually good get overlooked because it's like,
oh my god.
Well, that show we watched that had that shitty ladder match.
Yeah.
But there was actually a couple good matches on that show.
Well, that was with that had Leo Rush on it? Was that Blake Christian in there too? It was Leo Rush, but I don't remember who his opponent was. That was a fucking awesome match.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I think Leo Rush is kind of a dick, and I think that's his problem. I think he's prickly. I think he's CM Punk prickly. Definitely, maybe not that bad, but
definitely possible. I think he has his own way of doing business, and that's
think so too.
Doesn't necessarily jive with everybody. I think I don't know. I think in a lot of ways he reminds me of RVD, not just like his high flying stuff, but like the way that he is a wrestler. He does things the way that he wants to do them.
I don't think that's bad.
No,
I think he just struggled to stay in one spot. RVD was pretty loyal to ECW.
Yeah. There were fewer options back then, and ECW really did him well.
I mean, there were and there weren't, because he could have probably made a big payday going to WCW.
Yeah, WCW.
Now would they have used him? An Attitude Era WWF, he could have went there. I could have seen that. I think Paul was very protective of Rob because he knew what the fuck Rob was. Rob was the guy. Rob was the guy that should have got the run that never got the run.
But although his WWE ECW run was fucking amazing.
Oh my god, so good.
That's one of the only good things that came out of that ECW was that Rob Van Dam finally got his run, and it was a great run. I enjoyed it. Like
his run as world champion that lasted a month.
Still,
because he was speeding while he was weeding.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot. That's why.
Fucking Sabu had a bunch of painkillers that were in his, and it's fucking. Hey, cop pulls him on the car. Tell me what's going on, buddy. Dude, nothing. You're pouring sweat and your shirt's off. Yeah, it's really hot in the car, man. Like, oh my god.
Oh, Rob.
The car reeks like weed. Are you high? Uh-oh. Like, come on, Rob. What the fuck?
No.
I don't think so.
Good old fucking Rob. I don't know. I back to your point of Vince McMahon getting credit for shit he didn't do. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, the problem is he's always had the biggest platform.
Yeah.
So if he steals something from somebody else, it looks like he did it. But Eric Bischoff did the same thing with the Luchadors. He acted like that was him, but that was actually EC-Dub.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Mexico and Triple A.
Well, but bringing them to America, I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
I'm not saying Paul Heyman invented Luchadors. That's not what I'm saying. He brought them. He understood how good they were and brought them to the country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And to your point, I look at TNA and I say TNA was shit. And I'm not saying Impact is any better, except that I am. Like, it's better. Like, TNA was a very low bar. Like, they had some really good talent and they kind of fucked them over. And
I would agree, though. I think Impact
has refocused, and I think they're doing a lot better than TNA ever did. From like a
I almost think that AEW coming out and kind of pushing them down the pecking order was good for them.
Yeah.
I think they were not... I don't think they were functionally ready to be a number 2. They
never were. They wanted to be so badly, but they never were.
They just couldn't. They couldn't get out of their own way.
They didn't have the management, and they didn't have the money, quite frankly.
It helps to have one guy calling the shots, and I think in TNA it was like Jarrett Russo, and then Russo was gone, then Russo was back, and then they brought in Jim Cornette, then he left, then Bruce Pritchard came in, and then Dixie Carter bought it, and it's like all this shit. You never had one direction, whereas Vince McMahon's been the direction, Tony Khan's been the direction.
Yeah.
And those guys both kind of stick to what they want to do, and they will make changes if they need to, but
yeah, I would agree.
I do think that's one of the biggest reasons why AEW has been successful, because Tony Khan has a vision, and he's just kind of following it. And he's not faltering from that, and he's not letting, he brought Jeff Jarrett in, which I'm not happy about, but he's not like, he's not going to bring in like Hulk Hogan and give him the book.
Yeah.
And I guess nowadays it'd be like, he's not going to bring in John Cena and just have John Cena do the same shit he did 10 years ago and let him beat everybody. Like, he's not going to do that. So,
yeah, I think he's smarter about the business than he has to his credit. He has learned the lessons of like ECW and WCW and even WWE, the things that didn't work. Like, he's staying away from them.
WWE just continually pushes them and calls them the big dog.
Truth.
Big dog.
Leanne, would you just acknowledge him once?
No.
Never. He's not doing it.
Well, I think on that note, maybe we should wrap up.
Let's wrap it up, Bud Rick.
Let's wrap it up. Wrap it up, people. Wrap it up. Oh, I gotta say.
Wrap it up in bow tie.
And cut.